In this video, I'll be reviewing your Pokemon, and more specifically, this video will cover a submission posted by Squiggly in the YouTube My Mon text channel. Now the first Pokemon that we're going to have a look at is the Ampharos. And this Ampharos, I can mention, has the double eggs ingredient list, which is kind of nice. Although, one thing worth mentioning with the Ampharos is it has a very low ingredient rate. It is among the lowest ingredient rates in the entire game. And in this case, it is boosted slightly by its nature. For the most part, when it comes to the skill specialists, you oftentimes want the ingredients down because it has a lower average volume of stuff dropping when it has a production. So if it's just one berry compared to 4 eggs, it's a little bit of a difference, but I mean, eggs is nice, so there's that. You probably don't have to go as hard for that, you know, Delibird, if you really don't mind. So yeah, the first two traits are Skill Trigger M and Skill Trigger S. And if at some point in the future mints come out, I would say this Ampharos is a prime contestant for it because it just reads out like a perfect skill specialist. It doesn't have the berry finding clogging up the inventory. In fact, it has more inventory coming in at level 75. And for this Ampharos, that is already level 53, level 75 is not that far off, especially if you can just camp out at Vocal Power Plant and get a lot of skills triggered and banked and all that stuff. So it has main skill level 7, so this is already highly invested in, and that skill rate is ridiculous, 7.2%. Now I'm curious if we just mint it. It's close to 9, but it is quiet. The XP gains down is a little bit of a rough one, but overall I would say it's probably not a huge letdown. You've made it to level 50, that was the big plateau. Now the next leg up is going to be level 75 for that huge inventory. Look at that, 46, and maybe at that point you have 2,000 hours too. 51, you can actually cross 50 on your Ampharos. That's crazy. So if we just zero it out right now, it's at 28. Big difference. Although at a 7.2% skill rate, you probably are able to bank 2 skill triggers for the most part before you run out of inventory. Perhaps, maybe not if you get a whole bunch of eggs. But yeah, quite nice, not inventory, but Ampharos. And hopefully in the future, mints will come along. This will then just become a god tier Ampharos at level 75. You can also mention at level 100, there's even more inventory. At that point, it's just overkill. But who knows? Maybe we have 3 banked triggers in the future and it can make sense somehow. Alright, the next Pokemon is Gengar with double mushrooms. That is pretty cool. I'm a fan of Gengar overall, and also the double mushrooms, so it's kind of interesting how the speed creep has tried to take out the Gengar, but not sufficiently yet. Alright, the nature on the Gengar is brave. That's actually quite nice. I do like the brave nature on Gengar, though technically perhaps ingredients up would have been better, but it's still not bad. We have double mushrooms as mentioned, and the first 2 traits are ingredient finding M and helping speed M, and at that point you can just like clap your hands, you got it. Gengar does have a very low ingredient rate to start with. 16 is not a whole lot for an ingredient specialist, though it is compensated by the high value of the ingredients that it is dropping and its speed. And so to get that ingredient rate up to 22% is quite nice. At level 50, which is already in the book, you got Inventory L. And so this Gengar is real nice. It's super fast. It's got great inventory, a very viable ingredient list, and not only that, it has more speed coming for it at level 75. So we can also mention it has a skill trigger hiding at level 100. Not really relevant, but yeah, at level 75, this is going to be a very strong Gengar. You're going to get tons of berries, a lot of mushrooms, you're going to have huge inventory, so you can actually bank those mushrooms before you run out and eventually transition over to the sneaky snacking. But wow, two really strong Pokemon so far. Not a whole lot more to really comment on. The inventory is 42, which means this has been evolved once. Presumably, it has 0 hours on it, really? No. Less than 500? Yes, it's got 42 and main skill level 2, so caught as a haunter, but still a great find. And with that inventory L at level 50 is huge, so yeah, not as huge as initially, but I mean, once you get to 2,000 hours, maybe you get close to 50. That's a very nice sweet spot right there. So, the third and final Pokemon submitted by Squiggly for now. Ooh, we got a Slowbro, which is kind of nice. It's been a while since we talked about Slowbro. We had a lot of Slowbro and Slowking submissions around the time of the Suicune event. And so, yeah, been a while. Okay, what have we got here? Overall, if you compare just at base Slowbro versus Slowking, Slowbro is slightly more ingredients focused, while the Slowking is slightly more skill focused. We can compare the two. Let's see, we have Slowbro and Slowking. They're both skill specialists, so always keep that in mind. When you have a Pokemon of a given category, that's basically where you're going to get most of its strength. There may be an exception in Pokemon like Slowbro and Slowking, or maybe even Slackoth or the Slacking. But if you actually have a look at the ingredient drops or the tails, which is usually the conversation people have around these two, it's not huge. At level 30 and level 60, if you have double tails like this Slowbro right here, it is not a very big value. Now, where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, the Suicune combo is where you can really cash in on the ingredient list and potentially also having a decent amount of the ingredient finders on it in terms of the nature and the sub skills, because both of these are really slow. You can see 56 minutes, an hour and 3 minutes is ridiculous. And so in my opinion, the way to use Slowking and Slowbro is you want to have a Suicune team. You want to be preparing off week. Maybe you have a Suicune and one Slowbro and that's it. And then you have some berry specialists that you're overstacking, but you can tuck away those tails in the event preparation weeks. And what's nice with the Suicune is it's just gonna grab a couple productions, not thinking about the speed at all, which is nice. You just get X number of productions, whether it's 9 or 11 or what it is. And then for Slowbro, if we then hop back into the expansion, let's just make a hypothetical here. We have ingredient finding M, ingredient finding S, and ingredient finding, well, that would be like mild or something. You can get up to a 1 in 3 chance, basically, of dropping ingredients, where there is a 2 out of 3 chance of getting tails. And I think on average, the numbers get a little bit funny there, but essentially, I think it's something like 1 in every 5 productions or so, you get a tail. So per Suicune, you get 2 tails per trigger, if that is your setup. That is the best case scenario potentially if you're just interested in the tails. But as stated earlier, it is a skill specialist, and that's kind of what I personally like to maintain in my investments. It's easy to get tempted when you get some other specialty and they have a lot of stats. Now, this Slowbro that we are going to review here by Squiggly has helping bonus, and that's actually huge because helping bonus stacks with the Suicune in an inter combo thingy. Now, I don't know if I would personally use Slowbro if I didn't run the Suicune, but maybe you guys can give me some feedback on whatever you're finding. It has 21 in inventory, which means it's basically got no time on it. Then it's got some helping speed and a neutral nature-ish. It's relaxed. That just means it's going to be a bit of a struggle to get it to level 60 where you actually unlock the other set of tails. And at level 50, there's an ingredient finding M. So at least we got some ingredient finding there. That's always a nice trait to have on the Slowbro. You just want to make sure it doesn't like crowd out the rest. And in fact, it has the ingredient finding S too. And at that point, we're getting close to that 36%. That was like the peak. Right now, we're looking at 30. And so that's still quite good. Personally, I don't know exactly how I would go about it. Helping bonus, ingredient finding M, ingredient finding S, helping speed M with the correct ingredient list. I think for a Slowbro, this was the right choice. I don't think I would have gone with these traits on a Slowking per se, just because it's still a healer and it can be used for something. In the future, I'll probably do a deep dive on how Slowking and Golduck have a cool tag team when using a Suicune combo team, but we'll cover that later. This is all about Slowbro, and overall, I do like it. It is double tails, which is what you want on these two, and it's got helping bonus, which plays nicely with any team really, but especially Suicune because Slowbro helping bonus is the Suicune, which helper boosts the Slowking, which gives you a lot of tails. And then, yeah, you even have some speed in there, which is nice on the Slowbro because it's so slow. It's in the name. But yeah, for the Suicune combo, maybe speed is not as important. But yeah, it's never bad. So I would say it's a pretty decent Slowbro. I'm super curious though if you do have that Suicune or how you intend to use it. The thing with the skill specialists is you have to invest some seeds into them to really get them going. Now, if you run a night team with a Suicune, what's kind of interesting is you maybe get to bank 2 skills on the Slowking and the Slowbro if you run both of them with a Suicune and maybe 2 berry specialists that you're overstacking. That's 5. What's cool is the Energizing Cheer will more likely hit the least energized Pokemon. And at that point, I don't think necessarily the Slowbro and the Slowking needs to be level 6 to really do stuff. Because once you get to level 3, 4, maybe 5, then on average, you have those 4 skill triggers just spread out. And for a night team, that can be quite cool because if you go to bed with your Pokemon roughly around 130-35% energy, and you sleep for, let's say, 9 hours, for that duration, all of the Pokemon are going to be above 80% in energy and do max production the whole night. And so if you just run a night team with the Slowbro Slowking, then you can potentially bank 2 triggers on the Suicune. You proc the Slowking and the Slowbro, and they heal back the night Pokemon, whatever that may be. So I think those were my final cents here on these Pokemon. Quite nice overall. Obviously a huge find. It's just the intricate details of the differences between the Slowking, the Slowbro, the different combos and whatever. So yeah, congratulations. All these 3 Pokemon are really nice. And yeah, thank you so much for posting them. And I hope the analysis here was interesting and valuable. So for everyone else, you can give a big old thumbs up on this video if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Now, if you're interested in having a review video like this, you can consider becoming a YouTube member. I'm currently doing a special campaign for October 2024. As an addition on top of all of this, I will make a video if you post 3 Pokemon in the YouTube My Mon text channel. Now, you need to locate the join button. That is a little bit hard if you got an iPhone because Google and Apple is having a bit of a war. So either on an Android phone or a computer, you'll find the join button. That grants you lifetime access to the nirtheart Discord, which is a great place to be if you're interested in a more tight community of Pokemon Sleep fans and players and Pokemon analyzers. And then, yeah, for as long as you remain a member, you get early access to videos, and I already replied to comments, although I reply to all the comments, so either way, it's a nice perk. So yeah, starting month 1, you get lifetime access. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you again in another video.